Are you ready for the top 12?
Just how big could we get with just 2 people?
How is this going to help me in the future?
People are creating so much content, but quantity wasn't really a solution.
You have to be authentic. You have to be passionate about it. That's wrong with it, right?
Oh, awesome. Top 3 mantras you try and live by.
So there was a quote that I found when MySpace came out because I needed like a stupid quote for my homepage, and I was just Googling quotes. And there was one that stood out that I just never forgot. It's, "My biggest fear is that I'll look back on my life and wonder what I did with it." And that has always kind of stuck with me in everything that I did. And it's really helped motivate me to take the risks that would deter a lot of people. Because I just figure, even if I fail, I would rather say that I did it and tried than not do it at all, which I know is kind of cliche, but that's just, I thought that was a really powerful one-liner on kind of the way that I want to live my life. So that's one that I look at a lot. The other 2 mantras aren't really mantras. They're just stupid tattoos that I have that I got in various countries around the world. So I got one recently in Finland. It's going through a really tough time there emotionally. I was just, I was dealing with distance from my fiance. I was in a job that I didn't like. And it was really right before we took the leap to come out to Australia. But I was in a taxi with this guy, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have like a phrase that you use here in Finland that's like cool that I can like tattoo on my body?" He said Sisu. It's Sisu, and you can look it up. It has a couple different meanings, but it's essentially it kind of just means like badass in short, but it specifically is it's like that second wave that you get, like when you're being like hit your hardest and you're like about to give up. It's like that sensation of like, I'm gonna
get the second win, like something that just comes out of nowhere and helps you push through, sort of thing.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And there's no like real English word for it. So that I think about that and I'm like, man, when things get really, really tough, all I need is just that just almost final step, but that's what pushes you through to the other side. So that's cool. And then this is another tattoo I got in Japan. It's the word Ikigai. I don't know if you've heard of it or you know the concept, but it's like this little Venn diagram where you essentially, there's this very small thing in the middle that is like true happiness and true sense of purpose and being. And it's, doing what you love, doing what the world needs, doing something that makes money, and then something else, something you're passionate about maybe. But all of those things in the middle forms your Ikigai. And people spend their whole lives trying to find it. They spend their whole lives thinking that it's just doing the 3 out of the 4 things and sacrificing one of those things all the time. But if you can kind of have
find the perfect balance.
Exactly. And the way that they found out about Ikigai is they went to like this Japanese village, and there were these people there that were living until like 90, 100 years old. This whole village, it was just full of old people. And they're like, "How the hell are you guys living so long?" And they were like, "Because we found our Ikigai," like that is, yeah. So that's really cool. And there's actually a ton of books about it. If you're looking for something motivational, just go to any bookstore and look for a book that talks about Ikigai. But they go so in depth about how to find it, what to do, all these things.
Yeah. Okay. So these are good ones. These are like, top 3. Okay. If I don't know what to do, I just surrender. And surrender, I define as letting something be without needing to change it the way it is, whether that's an emotion, a thought. Never try to deal with things on the thought level. Oh my God, you'll get caught in a storm. Second mantra, keeping my possibility space open. So not limiting myself to what's possible, no matter how crazy it seems, no matter how crazy.
Yep, just give it a go.
Yeah, or just be open.
Let it happen.
And 3, don't take things too seriously. Yeah.
Well, I like to feel like I don't know. I kind of like to lead by example. That's I'm the type of person that might not be. I mean, I think I'm definitely a workaholic. I work way too much, and everybody tells me. But I think I think that causes an impact on the people around me, and I think that I'm pretty sure that the people I work with, see me working very hard, and I think that, I mean, the way I see that is that I try to lead by example in a way that I like to work with very independent people that, hopefully I don't need to be on top of them, and I'm inspired by the fact that this guy is doing everything I can to make this happen. So I think that's like, I definitely one value in the company is that, a commitment to diversity and being open to cultures is something I'm kind of an activist about. I've been an activist, an activist. I've been supporting a lot of stuff, for example, related to immigration in the US. I'm an immigrant myself, and it wasn't easy at all to be where I am today from an immigration perspective. And now one of our colleagues is also not American, but we're both kind of making it here. So I think that's something.
Yeah, I don't really have too many mantras. When I started uni, I put up this poster of Michael Jordan on my wall, which has been up for, I think it's been up for about 3, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, 4 or 5 years now. And it has a little quote underneath that says, no bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings, which I just think is a cool quote.
Be empathetic. I mean, that's really, we jump on the phone with families who are in all kinds of different situations. And like I say, they're used to being mistreated by customer service. So they often come out of the blocks pretty angry.
Yeah.
Expecting that you're going to be unhelpful. And, if I had to repeat something before I jump on the phone every time, it's just like, be empathetic. People are probably wrestling with some pretty difficult situations, and they're not necessarily, don't take it personally, and as quickly as possible, try to communicate that you do appreciate that they're in a tough spot and that you're there to help them. And it really can blow people away when you come at it from that angle. So that would be my top one. Tell the truth would be number 2, in no particular order. Anytime you don't tell the truth, it's very painful. And it is liberating to tell the truth, no matter how painful that truth seems like it's going to be. It's always less painful than hiding it. Yeah. And so just get it out there. Now, some things are none of people's business. There's a difference between keeping something to yourself, private, versus telling a lie, right? Meaning some things are not anybody's business. So I'm not saying be out there and share all your truths on Instagram.
Be completely transparent. Yeah.
You're transparent, but only on things that are that need to be
relevant. Yeah.
For the relevant party. And so, but I'm just a real stickler for telling the truth. And I don't know, the last would just be, make it great. I mean, take the time to make something just be as good as you can make it be. Now, that's a dangerous one, because if you overfixate, a lot of times greatness is the result of a ton of iterations. And so as long as you appreciate that, and if it never comes out, it's never going to be great. What I mean like that more is like the vision of what it's ultimately going to be. You should have a vision in your head that's great.
Yeah.
And as long as you're, on a trajectory to that, I think it's okay.
And they're working towards
like I know right now that that like there's parts of our user experience that are like, every time I talk to a customer, like I just feel like I should apologize and credit their card $5 for the horrible for the horrible thing, and I know that I happen to know we're working on it, and so I'm fine with that. It's like we can't do, we're two guys.
Yeah, you can't just do everything tomorrow.
But on the other hand, we're on a very definitive trajectory to fixing that.
Yeah,
or at least we know it. Or
it's on the way. Or
we're not trying to we're not intentionally being crappy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because that's just terrible. So, some people build products that are basically intentionally crappy because they're optimizing along some other axis.
There's one, because I'm the marketing PR type person now. It's just one that I've made up for myself. I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere, but I've always learned. It's like, I always say to myself, keep going until I reach 300. And what I mean by that is I've noticed that if I'm reaching out to people and trying to get a response, if I reach out to 20 people, I might not hear anything. If I reach out to 50 people, I might not hear anything. But in my experience, when I finally get to 300, I'll get a flood of response.
Yeah,
so
that's fantastic.
And you can really get discouraged when you don't hear anything back, or you don't really, no one says anything. Yeah. But I've noticed that if I keep that in my head, 300 contacts, I always get some kind of response.